to my channel. So this is a Bombshell report. This was originally written by Vice, but basically the story was actually broke by the people of Status Quo who are on this article. Jordan Cheriton and Gina Diz, who basically are the people who reported on it. There's a Vice article about this, but I can't go on the Vice article because the computer I'm using, it's blocked. And so basically, I'm not going to read the article. So former Governor Rick Snyder knew about this crisis, and there's few people talking about it. Jimmy Dore just did an interview. Go to his channel and subscribe to him and Status Quo to get more. So basically, they did like a whole interview talking about this. Rashida Tlaib hasn't commented about it. Gretchen Whitmer hasn't talked about it. Mainstream media hasn't talked about it. Only Vice. Few articles. I think The Intercept will soon talk about it, and I think The Hill is posting a video about it. So let's get on to the audio. It's loading. Wait.
Just a quick word from our sponsor.
At Flint, our priority is keeping our customers, employees, and community safe. During these uncertain times, get the great service you expect without leaving the safety of your home. Shop at Sprint.com for our best new phone deals, like the amazing iPhone 11. Lease it for just $15 and restrictions apply.
Alright, now that's
Rick Snyder knew about Flint water crisis earlier than he testified under oath, according to new report. To paraphrase the famous Watergate question, what did former Governor Rick Snyder know about the Flint water crisis, and when did he know it? According to a Bombshell report published on Thursday by Vice, much more than he previously acknowledged, and long before he did. Reporters Jordan Cheriton and Jen Dye spent more than a year and a half interviewing top officials and pouring through hundreds of pages of confidential documents provided by sources involved in the criminal probe of the water crisis, who were granted anonymity to protect them from retaliation. The findings suggest a coordinated, years-long cover-up that goes all the way up to Snyder. One source with knowledge of the probe alleges Snyder and his cronies committed conspiracies of ongoing crimes, like an organized crime unit. Among the many new allegations in the piece, Snyder was warned about the dangers of using Flint River water in 2013, a year before the disastrous switch occurred. That Snyder knew of Flint's Legionella outbreak as early as October 2014. 16 months earlier than he claimed under oath during a congressional testimony, and then an investigation into the alleged fraud in the Carnegie Water Authority bond deal was dropped because ultimately the state, which signed off on the deal, would be on the hook for hundreds of millions of dollars owed to big banks like J.P. Morgan Chase and Wells Fargo. Beyond that, the report alleges that Snyder had an old-fashioned fixer in Richard Baird, who was paying off sick families with medical treatments to keep them quiet. One man, whose entire family had become poisoned with lead, was singled out after being escorted by police from a town hall meeting in early 2017 for making a scene. Soon after, Baird appeared at Murphy's house promising that the Snyder administration would pay for a medical treatment called chelation therapy to remove the lead from his and his family's bodies in exchange for their silence. The treatment was allegedly part of a pilot program that Baird claimed would be offered to all Flint residents. Even former Flint Mayor Karen Weaver alleges Snyder used similar tactics to control her, promising money for water relief and staffing, which he threatened to take back if she didn't publicly state that Flint's water was safe to drink. Weaver refused. Things came to a head in an April 2018 meeting in which Weaver alleges Snyder blew up at her, telling her that it was time for Flint residents to get over it and move on. And as recently as last year, Weaver alleges Snyder asked her to ask Congressman Elijah Cummings of the U.S. House Oversight Committee to back off his investigation into Snyder. Cummings died in October. Snyder and Baird did not respond to requests for comment, according to Vice, nor did Special Prosecutor Todd Flood. Now, 6 years after the crisis began, Snyder has not yet been formally charged. Last year, Attorney General Dana Nessel fired top prosecutors and investigators pursuing the case and dropped charges against Snyder officials because the probe was flawed, but some worry that the statute of limitations on new charges will soon run out. You can read the full report at Vice. Stay on top of Detroit news and views. Sign up for our weekly issue newsletter delivered.
Yes, basically, the Attorney General drops charges on basically Snyder and Baird. You act like Baird wasn't on this? Baird was involved in this. His friend Baird was on this as well. So basically, that guy who basically made a scene in the town hall, So he was told not to speak to any news media organizations due to that same thing, basically where they were going to fund treatment. It was going to be a pilot program. And basically they halted funding for the mayor there. And basically the governor still hasn't been prosecuted. And barely a few people haven't talked about it. So Rashida Tlaib hasn't talked about it. Gretchen Whitmer hasn't talked about it, the governor now. Mainstream media hasn't talked about it. And literally, they were doing this to shut people up. It's like DuPont. It's like Watergate and DuPont. For real. Where, you know the story about DuPont where they poisoned people with their pans. And there was this one factory where there's like a whole documentary about it where people are having cancer for basically the stuff that they put in the water. Yeah. So they haven't been charged yet. This report broke like on Thursday. It sucks. What happened in Flint, Michigan? And basically the government, it has like we have like $4 trillion, I think 40 trillion or trillion dollars to basically the rich wealthy people due to Trump's tax cuts. And basically we can't give millions of dollars to replace pipes, do infrastructure payments for Flint to clean the goddamn water. And they also stop giving like free water to the residents there. The governor stopped that, which is crazy. How basically the governor tried to cover it up. Hey. This is just crazy. Thank you guys for watching this. Support Status Quo and subscribe to Jimmy Dore and other progressive media organizations. Oh yeah, I also want to call out the Young Turks on this. So the Young Turks hasn't basically spoken anything about it. Come on, Jank. Please. Literally, I just watched their live stream. I'm just coming back from their live stream and they still haven't spoke about this. Thank you guys for watching.